Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to kick off today's presentation on manufacturing industries. This is the first slide, and I want to warmly welcome you all. Today, we'll explore the vital role that manufacturing plays in our economy, the key sectors involved, and the latest trends shaping the industry. We'll also look at some challenges and opportunities ahead. Let's get started. Let's take a look at the various industries that form the backbone of our manufacturing sector. We start with the information technology and electronics industry, which is rapidly growing and crucial for modern connectivity and innovation. Then, we have the chemical industry, an essential sector that supplies materials for countless other industries and everyday products. Moving on, the agro-based industries are vital because they utilize agricultural raw materials, supporting rural economies and food security. As we progress, we'll see the importance of the automobile industry, a major contributor to economic growth and employment. The mineral-based industries are also significant, providing raw materials like minerals and metals necessary for manufacturing. To understand these sectors better, we'll look at how industries are classified, which helps in organizing policies and development strategies. Understanding these key industries helps us appreciate their role within the larger manufacturing landscape, which is vital for economic progress and sustainable development. Today, I want to introduce you to the concept of manufacturing. Manufacturing is all about producing goods in large quantities, but what really sets it apart is the process involved. It starts with raw materials, which are then processed and transformed into more valuable products. This transformation is what we call manufacturing. Essentially, it's a systematic way of turning basic resources into finished goods that can be sold and used. Understanding this process is key because it underpins many industries, from automobiles to electronics. It's a fundamental part of how economies grow and how products reach consumers. So, as we move forward in this presentation, keep in mind that manufacturing is about efficiency, scale, and creating value from raw materials. Today, I want to highlight some common examples of manufacturing that show how raw materials are transformed into useful products. For example, from iron ore, we get iron, which is a fundamental material for building infrastructure, machinery, and vehicles. Then, from wood, we produce paper, essential for communication, publishing, and packaging. Cotton is another key raw material. From it, we make cloth, which is used in clothing, textiles, and various household items. And finally, from sugarcane, we extract sugar, a vital ingredient in food, beverages, and many processed products. These examples really illustrate the process of taking natural resources and turning them into everyday items we often take for granted. They also emphasize how manufacturing connects raw materials to the products that support our daily lives and economies. Countries that successfully transform their raw materials into a wide variety of higher-value furnished goods tend to be prosperous. This process brings in foreign exchange, which is vital for a nation's economy. It also helps eradicate poverty and unemployment by creating more job opportunities. When a country focuses on manufacturing, it enables the export of manufactured goods, boosting economic growth. Additionally, it reduces people's dependence on agriculture, diversifying the economy and making it more resilient. The economic strength of a country is often measured by how developed its manufacturing industries are, as they form the backbone of the economy. Manufacturing industries are essential because they drive growth, create employment, and help a nation move toward greater prosperity. When we talk about the factors influencing the location of industries, there are quite a few key points to consider. First, the market itself plays a huge role. Industries tend to set up where there's a strong demand for their products. Next, the availability of electricity is crucial because manufacturing processes often require a reliable power supply. Similarly, access to raw materials is essential. Industries need to be close to resources to keep costs low and efficiency high. Government policies also matter a lot. Suitable policies can encourage growth through incentives or supportive regulations. Good transport and communication facilities are vital too, as they help in moving raw materials in and finished products out smoothly. A favorable climate can also influence location decisions, especially for certain industries sensitive to weather conditions. Capital investment is another key factor. Industries are more likely to establish themselves where investment is available. Geographical factors, like proximity to water bodies or natural features, can also influence location choices. For example, being near water can facilitate transportation or provide cooling needs. On the non-geographical side, factors like cheap and skilled labor are often decisive. Skilled workers can improve productivity, while low labor costs help keep expenses down. The availability of water is also important for many manufacturing processes. Overall, these factors, both geographical and non-geographical, work together to determine the most suitable location for industries. By understanding these, we can see how industries optimize their setups to maximize efficiency and profitability within their operational environment. Now, let's take a look at some examples of mineral-based industries. These industries use minerals as raw materials, and you'll find them producing products like iron and steel, cement, aluminum, and machine tools, among others. These industries are crucial because they form the backbone of infrastructure and manufacturing. On the other hand, we have agro-based industries. These industries rely on agricultural raw materials such as cotton, wool, jute, silk, rubber, sugar, tea, and coffee. They are vital for producing textiles, beverages, and many other consumer goods. So, when we talk about industries based on the source of raw materials, we essentially classify them into these two broad categories: mineral-based industries and agro-based industries. This classification helps us understand how different industries are connected to the natural resources available in a region. This classification is important because it highlights the dependence of industries on natural raw materials, either mineral or agricultural. Recognizing this link helps in planning for resource management, industrial development, and sustainable growth as part of our overall economic strategy. Now, let's take a closer look at some examples of consumer industries. These are the sectors that produce goods directly for consumers to use. Think about everyday items like sugar, toothpaste, paper, or even fans. These products are meant for direct consumption or personal use, and they play a vital role in our daily lives. On the other hand, we have industries that supply products or raw materials to other manufacturers. For instance, iron and steel, or aluminum obtained through smelting, are essential inputs for making a wide range of other goods. These are often called basic or key industries because they form the foundation for manufacturing in many sectors. So, the main idea here is to understand the two broad categories based on their main role. One focuses on producing finished goods for consumers, while the other supplies raw materials or components to manufacturing industries. Recognizing this distinction helps us grasp the structure of the economy and how different industries support each other. When we look at industries based on capital investment, a key distinction emerges between large-scale and small-scale industries. If the investment exceeds 1 crore, we refer to it as a large-scale industry. These industries typically require more labor because they involve bigger operations. Think of industries like the cotton textile industry, which need a substantial workforce and significant resources. On the other hand, if the investment is less than 1 crore, we call it a small-scale industry. These are usually run by fewer people and involve less capital. Examples include traditional businesses like condensari and gur manufacturing. This classification helps us understand the scale of operations and resource requirements, which is essential when planning industrial development or policy measures. It also highlights how different industries are structured based on the amount of capital invested, influencing their size, labor needs, and overall capacity. Now, let's look at the different types of ownership in industries. First, we have the cooperative sector. This is where industries are owned and operated by producers or suppliers of raw materials, workers, or sometimes both. The key idea here is that resources are pooled together and profits or losses are shared proportionally. For example, in Maharashtra, the sugar industry operates as a cooperative, and similarly in Kerala, the coir industry functions this way. It's a collective effort where everyone involved benefits or bears the burden together. Next, we have the private sector. This includes industries owned and operated by individuals or groups of individuals. Think of companies like TISCO, Bajaj Auto, or Dabur Industries. These are privately owned businesses where decision-making is in the hands of private owners or groups, and they aim for profit and growth. Moving on, we come to the joint sector. This is a partnership between the government and private individuals or groups. In this model, industries are jointly run by both sectors. A good example is Oil India Limited, which is owned partly by the public sector and partly by private investors. This setup allows for shared resources and expertise, combining the strengths of both sectors. Finally, we have the public sector. These industries are owned and operated entirely by government agencies. Examples include BHEL and SAIL. The main goal here is to serve the public interest, and these industries are funded and managed by the government to ensure essential services and infrastructure. Understanding these different ownership types helps us see how industries are structured to serve various economic and social needs, connecting to the broader theme of how different sectors contribute to the economy. Now, let's look at how industries are classified based on the raw materials and finished goods they handle. First, we have light industries. These typically use light raw materials and produce light products. For example, things like electric fans, watches, and sewing machines fall into this category. They involve materials that are easy to handle and transport, which makes these industries more flexible and often more suited for urban areas. On the other hand, we have heavy industries. These involve the use of heavy and bulky raw materials, such as iron and steel. The products they manufacture, like steel beams or large machinery, are also heavy and require substantial infrastructure and resources to produce and move. The key point here is that the classification is mainly based on the bulk and weight of the raw materials used, as well as the finished products. Light industries tend to be more lightweight and versatile, while heavy industries deal with large quantities of raw materials and produce bulky goods. Understanding this distinction is important because it helps us see how different industries are set up and how they impact the environment, infrastructure, and the economy. This classification ties into the overall theme of industrial development and resource management, showing how the nature of raw materials shapes industry types and their roles in society. Let's take a closer look at the mills involved in the cotton textile industry. They thrive in regions with a good moist climate, which is essential for the processing and manufacturing stages. Additionally, these areas benefit from excellent transport facilities, including port facilities, that help in the import of raw materials and export of finished goods. Power looms are a significant part of the industry, enabling mass production of textiles efficiently. The industry encompasses various stages such as ginning, spinning, weaving, dyeing, designing, tailoring, and packaging, all working together to produce ready-made garments. There is also a traditional handloom sector that continues to play a vital role, especially in rural areas. Cotton textile production primarily occurs through 3 methods, reflecting the diversity of techniques used across regions. When it comes to exports, key markets include Japan, the USA, UK, France, Sri Lanka, Nepal, and several East European countries. This indicates the global reach of India's cotton textiles. The industry benefits from the availability of labor, which is crucial for both large-scale mills and handloom sectors. Moreover, the presence of black cotton soil provides an abundant supply of raw cotton, which is the primary raw material. Historically, the first cotton textile mill was established in Mumbai in 1854, marking the beginning of organized textile manufacturing in India. Today, the industry is mainly concentrated in Maharashtra and Gujarat, regions well-suited due to their climatic conditions and proximity to raw cotton sources. Overall, the cotton textile industry is a vital agro-based industry that combines traditional methods with modern technology, supporting both local economies and global trade. Let's take a closer look at some of the major challenges faced by the cotton textile industry today. First, there's tough competition from synthetic fibers, which are often cheaper and more versatile, making it harder for natural cotton to compete in the market. Then, we have low output from labor, which affects overall productivity and increases costs. Additionally, erratic power supply disrupts operations, leading to delays and inefficiencies. Old machinery is also a significant concern, as outdated equipment hampers production capacity and quality. Historically, the main cotton-growing area shifted to Pakistan during partition, which impacted local cotton availability and quality. Lastly, there's a scarcity of good quality cotton, which directly affects the quality of the final product. All these factors combined create substantial hurdles for our industry, but understanding them is the first step toward finding effective solutions. Let's take a closer look at the key factors that support the jute industry in India. First, a good network of railways, roadways, and waterways plays a crucial role in transportation and logistics, ensuring raw materials and finished products move efficiently across regions. Next, we benefit from cheap labor, especially from West Bengal and adjoining states, which helps keep production costs low. Additionally, inexpensive water transport provides an economical way to move bulk raw materials and goods, further reducing expenses. Another important factor is the abundant water supply needed for processing raw jute, as water is essential in preparing and treating the fibers. Coupled with the ready availability of raw jute itself, these resources create a strong foundation for the industry. Most jute mills are strategically located along the Hooghly River in West Bengal. This location is ideal because it combines easy access to water, raw materials, and transportation routes. India is the largest producer of raw jute and jute goods globally. Historically, the industry dates back to 1859, when the first jute mill was established in Rishra, near Kolkata. Jute is a versatile fiber, used in making ropes, bags, carpets, and many other products, contributing significantly to both the economy and exports. This overview highlights how geographical advantages, resources, and infrastructure work together to support India's leadership in jute production. In 2005, the government took a significant step by formulating the National Jute Policy. The main objectives of this policy were to boost productivity, improve the quality of jute, and ensure better prices for our jute farmers. It was also aimed at increasing the yield per hectare, which is crucial for the industry's growth and sustainability. However, despite these efforts, the jute industry faces stiff competition in the international market. Synthetic substitutes have become popular due to their durability and lower costs, which challenge the traditional jute market. Additionally, competitors like Bangladesh, Brazil, the Philippines, Egypt, and Thailand are all vying for a share of the global market. These countries have made significant investments in their jute industries, which makes it more challenging for our industry to maintain its competitive edge. This slide highlights the dual challenge of implementing effective policies while facing tough international competition, an ongoing struggle that underscores the need for continuous innovation and strategic adaptation within the industry. India stands second in global sugar production, which is quite impressive when you consider the scale of the industry worldwide. What's even more interesting is that India holds the top position in the production of gur and kansari, traditional forms of sugar that are deeply rooted in our culture. These products are often made locally and are quite popular across different regions. You'll notice that most sugar mills are strategically located near areas where sugarcane is cultivated extensively. This makes sense because proximity reduces transportation costs and helps streamline the processing of sugarcane into sugar. Overall, the sugar industry is a significant part of our economy, supporting millions of farmers and workers. This focus on local production and the importance of traditional products, like gur, highlights how the industry balances modern industrial practices with age-old traditions, maintaining both economic and cultural relevance. Let's start with the first challenge, the need to maximize the use of bagasse. Bagasse is a byproduct of sugarcane processing, and leveraging it effectively can really improve our overall efficiency and sustainability. Next, we face transport delays when reaching the cane to the factories. These delays can disrupt the entire production schedule and affect our productivity. Moving on, the industry still relies on old and inefficient methods of production, which can lead to higher costs and lower output. Finally, the seasonal nature of the industry presents ongoing challenges as demand and supply fluctuate throughout the year. Addressing these major challenges is crucial for us to improve our operations and stay competitive in the market. Let's talk about the successful cooperative sugar mills in the southern states. These regions have really established a strong presence in the industry. One key advantage they have is a longer crushing season, which allows for more efficient processing and better yields. Additionally, they have access to new and modern machinery, which boosts productivity and quality. The sugar cane grown here also tends to have a higher sucrose content, making the sugar production more profitable. Moreover, the per hectare production of sugar cane in southern India is significantly higher, contributing to the overall efficiency and output. Now, historically, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar were the main sugar cane producers in India. But recently, there's been a shift. More mills are moving towards Maharashtra and Karnataka. This shift is driven by several factors, including better infrastructure, more favorable climate conditions, and the availability of modern technology. All these elements are making Maharashtra and Karnataka more attractive for sugar industry growth. So, this shift reflects a strategic move to optimize production and stay competitive in the market. Let's take a closer look at mineral-based industries. These industries are fundamental because they extract and process minerals from the earth, which serve as the raw materials for many other sectors. For example, the automobile industry relies heavily on metals like iron and aluminum, which are produced through these mineral-based processes. Similarly, the fertilizer industry depends on minerals such as phosphates and potash. Other key industries that stem from mineral resources include aluminium smelting, which produces aluminum used in packaging and construction, and cement industries, essential for building infrastructure. The chemical industries also heavily depend on mineral-based raw materials to produce various chemicals used across multiple sectors. It's important to recognize that mineral-based industries form the backbone of manufacturing and development. They supply the essential raw materials that fuel growth in industries like machinery, tools, transport equipment, and construction materials. Without these, many of the advanced industries we rely on wouldn't be possible. So, understanding the significance of these industries helps us appreciate how interconnected our economy really is. Let's take a closer look at why the iron and steel industry is predominantly located in peninsular India. One of the main reasons is nearness to market and port facilities. Being close to markets helps in reducing transportation costs and ensures easy distribution of products. Ports are crucial for importing raw materials and exporting finished goods, which boosts the industry's efficiency. Power resources and skilled labor are also vital. Industries need a reliable supply of electricity and a workforce skilled in various manufacturing processes. Peninsular India offers these resources in abundance, making it an ideal location for steel production. Another important factor is the availability of raw materials. Iron ore deposits are mainly found in this region, which significantly reduces transportation costs and makes the industry more cost-effective. Overall, these factors, proximity to markets and ports, resource availability, and skilled labor, combine to make peninsular India the perfect hub for the iron and steel industry. This strategic positioning supports the growth and competitiveness of the industry in this region. Let's take a closer look at the different segments of the chemical industry. When it comes to inorganic chemicals, one key example is sulfuric acid. It plays a crucial role in the production of fertilizers, which are essential for agriculture, as well as in manufacturing plastics and soaps. These are fundamental products that impact everyday life. Moving on to organic chemicals, petrochemicals are a major component. They are used to produce synthetic fibers, which are found in textiles, as well as rubber, plastics, and even pharmaceuticals. These chemicals are the backbone of many industries, providing the raw materials needed for a wide range of products. Overall, the chemical industry in India is expanding rapidly. It contributes about 3% to the country's GDP, reflecting its growing importance. This growth includes both organic and inorganic chemicals, highlighting how vital this sector is to India's industrial landscape and economic development. Let's take a moment to look at the history of the fertilizer industry in India. The first fertilizer plant in the country was established at Ranipat in Tamil Nadu back in 1906. This marked the beginning of organized fertilizer production in India. Over the years, the industry has grown significantly, especially focusing on nitrogenous fertilizers, which are crucial for crop growth. Today, you'll find fertilizer facilities spread across several key states, including Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, and Uttar Pradesh. These regions play a vital role in supporting the agricultural sector by providing the nutrients that crops need to thrive. Overall, the fertilizer industry is a backbone for Indian agriculture, helping to boost productivity and ensure food security across the country. Cement is absolutely essential for construction activities, serving as a fundamental binding material. It requires bulky raw materials like limestone and gypsum, which are key ingredients in its production. Interestingly, the first cement plant was established in Chennai back in 1904, marking the beginning of organized cement manufacturing in India. This industry has grown significantly since then, playing a crucial role in infrastructure development. Understanding the cement industry helps us appreciate how foundational materials support our country's progress and development. Automobiles play a crucial role in our daily lives by providing vehicles that enable the quick and efficient transport of goods and services. This industry is quite diverse, manufacturing a range of vehicles including trucks, buses, cars, motorcycles, scooters, and multi-utility vehicles. You'll find these vehicles primarily around major cities, where they support the movement of people and commodities. Understanding the automobile industry helps us see how transportation infrastructure underpins economic growth and connects different parts of society. It's a vital sector that continuously evolves to meet the demands of mobility, efficiency, and sustainability. The electronics industry encompasses a wide range of products, from basic transistor sets to advanced televisions, telecommunication devices, and computer equipment. It's a rapidly evolving sector that plays a crucial role in our daily lives. An interesting fact is that Bangalore has truly emerged as the electronic capital of India, becoming a hub for innovation and technological development. This growth highlights how regional centers can develop into key players in the national and global electronics market, supporting the overall theme of technological progress and economic development in India. Let's talk about how global warming impacts the health of humans, animals, and plants. When the planet warms, it disrupts ecosystems and threatens the very survival of many species. This warming is largely driven by the emission of gases like CO2, carbon monoxide, and sulfur dioxide. These gases trap heat in the atmosphere, leading to climate change. One of the key causes of these emissions is air pollution. Industrial activities, transportation, and energy production release large amounts of these pollutants into the air. This, in turn, accelerates environmental degradation and harms living organisms. Specifically, industrial pollution is a major contributor. Factories and power plants release a variety of harmful substances that degrade air quality and damage ecosystems. This kind of pollution not only affects our environment, but also poses serious health risks to humans and animals alike. So, understanding these connections helps us see why controlling emissions and reducing industrial pollution are essential steps toward protecting our planet and all its inhabitants. Let's talk about aquatic life and how it's affected by water pollution. When industrial waste is dumped into water bodies, it introduces harmful substances that can devastate marine ecosystems. Similarly, untreated chemical wastes, which often contain toxic substances, can severely disrupt aquatic habitats and threaten the survival of various species. These practices directly lead to water pollution, which is a major environmental concern. Water pollution doesn't just harm aquatic life, it also impacts human health and the overall balance of our ecosystems. So, understanding these causes helps us see why protecting our water sources is crucial for the health of all living beings. Let's talk about noise pollution, which is a significant issue often overlooked. High-intensity sound from machines, for example, can have serious health impacts. When we are exposed to loud noises over time, it can lead to hearing impairment, which is a permanent loss of hearing ability. But it's not just about hearing. Other health issues can also arise, such as stress, fatigue, and even cardiovascular problems. This is particularly important in workplaces or environments where loud machinery is common. Understanding the effects of noise pollution helps us realize why managing and reducing noise levels is crucial for our overall health and well-being. It ties into the broader theme of environmental health and the need to create safer, healthier spaces for everyone. Now, moving on to some additional measures we can take to control environmental degradation. One effective approach is noise reduction through absorbing materials. These materials help to dampen sound, reducing noise pollution, especially in urban or industrial areas. It's a simple yet impactful way to minimize the disturbance to nearby communities and ecosystems. Next, treating hot water and effluents before releasing them is crucial. By doing so, we prevent harmful substances from entering our water bodies, protecting aquatic life and maintaining water quality. It's all about responsible waste management and ensuring that our activities do negatively impact the environment. Another important step is harvesting rainwater. This practice allows us to collect and store rainwater for later use, reducing our reliance on other water sources and easing the strain on natural water supplies. It's a sustainable way to conserve water, especially in regions facing shortages. Finally, minimizing water use through reusing and recycling is key. Reusing water for different purposes and recycling wastewater helps us make the most of this precious resource. It not only conserves water, but also reduces the energy and chemicals needed for water treatment. All these measures are interconnected, and together they form a comprehensive strategy to lessen our environmental footprint and promote sustainability. Thanks so much for your attention today. I want to leave you with a quick recap. NTPC is a major power-providing corporation in India. Their focus is not only on generating electricity, but also on environmental management. They are committed to reducing pollution through innovative practices. This ties back to our overall theme of sustainable development and responsible energy production. I hope this presentation has given you a clear understanding of NTPC's role and their efforts to balance power generation with environmental care. Thank you once again for your time and engagement.